I'm sorry, America. The internet, everything just went out. We know it's storming over here. That low come through North Carolina. Um, so we're gonna try to pick it back up where we left off at. We apologize. Hopefully, we can just go back a little bit. All right, we're gonna pick it up from here.
The president has been clear. I have been clear. We need to put back the protections that are in Roe v. Wade into law. Since the Supreme Court took it, Congress has the power and ability to pass legislation to put those protections back in law, and Joe Biden will sign that bill. So that is what we want. But does it need to be specific in terms of defining and where that guarantee goes up to and where it does not, at which week of pregnancy? We need to put back in place the protections of Roe versus Wade. You're why I'm asking you this question, though, because we're not trying to do anything that did not exist before June of last year.
Hello?
We are saying it wasn't included in the law.
Yes.
So I'm asking you for the specifics because Republicans say the lack of a precise date in cutting it off. You know this. They say that allows Democrats to perform abortions up until, birth, which is ridiculous, statistically not accurate. And it's ridiculous, and it's a mischaracterization.
One of the things they try to make an issue is that this is about it. This doesn't have, there are no late reports. Well, they should know. Certainly the journalist whose job it is to know the facts and present the facts if you're going to have interviews. And certainly a senator or vice president should also know this. They are trying to get the people to understand or to believe that this isn't a rule, this isn't a law, and it never takes place. Fact is, it does.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response.
So why would someone who is moderating the debate decide to jump in, insert herself?
Okay. All right. We'll
Tell the president, inform the world the president is wrong on this. Well, could it be because of their ties being sorority sisters?
Lindsay Davis, Robin Robertson, right, it's a sorority thing, I don't understand it all, so you have to explain it to everybody who a sorority sister comment.
Right. Well, curls are a symbol of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which she pledged while she was at Howard University. And the strand of pearls is symbolic of the unity and the sisterhood. Okay. But on this day, there's actually a Facebook page of women who say wear pearls on January 20th, 2021, and hundreds of thousands of women are apparently wearing pearls in support of her.
Now, you may not think that has anything to do with it, but you tell me. Either it's because she is ignorant or evil. And again, I'm open for both of them being the case.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
And so the question is, do abortions take place in the last trimester? Well, let's look at someone actually making a phone call to an abortion provider who is stating that they do these abortions. As a matter of fact, they actually specialize in these things.
We're going to call the abortion facility, and I'm going to tell them I'm pregnant with a 32-week fetus, as you say. Hi, I just turned 32 weeks pregnant. Am I able to come in for an abortion ASAP? Can I still have an abortion at 34 weeks?
Yes, ma'am. I just have to do an intake. You have about 5 minutes.
Sure, I have 5 minutes. Yeah, I just found out that she could have Down syndrome. I can still have the abortion, right, even though she has Down syndrome?
Yeah, so we just have to do an intake because the doctor.
It doesn't matter. That's late-term abortion, ma'am. That's abortion in the 8th month of pregnancy. That's discriminatory based on someone's genetic code. She just confirmed she would commit an abortion on me with my child who's viable and can live outside the womb.
Now, before you think that's a one-off, it doesn't happen all the time. Well, here's another phone call to a different abortion provider.
People calling kids, can I help you?
I'm looking to have an abortion.
How far along are you?
I'm 34 right now.
An abortion at any stage is actually much safer than delivering a term pregnancy.
Now, think about what she just said. Abortion at any stage is safer than a full-term pregnancy. Well, question is, safer for who? Now, listen to the procedure, how it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to caution you, it is upsetting, it can bother you, but I think it's vitally important that we understand understand the facts and we know exactly what's going on.
It's a 4 to 5 day procedure. The needle is inserted through the abdomen and into the fetal heart where lidocaine is injected, and that will completely numb the fetus so there's no pain. And then after that, we inject a medication called digoxin and another medication called KCL into the fetal heart, which will slow and then stop the fetal heartbeat. And then we'll assist you in sort of pushing in the induction and then remove all of the products of conception.
Removing all of the products of conception. I guess that's a nice way of putting or terminology for the baby, the dead baby.
Here we specialize in later trimester care. Our doctor is very well versed in what he's doing and he's very good.
So I'm not like a rare situation. Y'all help women this late in pregnancy all the time.
All the time.
Their doctor specializes in these late term abortions, and they, as she says, they do these all the time.
Rightly mentioned, nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America.
And again, let's just say you think that maybe these are just a case here, a case there. No, this is happening all across the country. Maybe you remember Kathy Trent, who goes before the House committee and is asked about these late-term abortions.
No, I'm talking about your bill.
Yeah,
How
but I mean-
late in the third trimester could a physician perform an abortion if he indicated it would impair the mental health of the woman?
So, I mean, through the
So we know what they say. It was also one other part on here I wanted y'all to hear. Where is it? I think it's about right here. Hold on.
And so when she told me what she was doing, I couldn't let this baby die alone. And so I cradled and rocked him for the 45 minutes that he lived.
I'm sorry. So this is a nurse who actually performed late term abortions, and she's actually giving her testimony on Capitol Hill on what she witnessed and what she did during these late term abortions. But it's leading into something else I want to point out real quick.
He was about the size of my hand. And if you saw the State of the Union address with a little Ellie, a 2-year-old who'd been born at 21 weeks, 6 days, the baby I held was just 2 days younger than her. I couldn't tell toward the end of his life if he was still alive unless I held him up against the light to see if I could see his heart beating through his chest wall because their skin is so thin at that age. And after he was pronounced dead, I folded his little arms across his chest, tied them together with a little string, wrapped him in a shroud, and took him to the morgue where we took all of our dead patients.
Incidentally, where else do we know this for a fact happens? Who else would know this? Would the Vice President of the United States, should she know this? Well, how about her vice presidential running mate, Tim Walz? How do we know that he knows this is a fact? And I wish someone would ask him, because he's signing the law making it legal for you to leave a baby that has been aborted, that survived an abortion attempt, making it legal to not give care to that infant so that he could then die. You don't have to believe me, this is him signing that bill into law.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
This is something that has been near and dear to the heart of Kamala Harris for as long as, well, going back to her grandmother's life.
I come from a long line of tough, trailblazing and phenomenal women. My grandmother would go into villages in India because she was Indian and lived in India, and she would go to the villages in India. It was a famous story in our family. My grandfather would say she was going to be the end of his career. But my grandmother would go into the villages with a bullhorn, talking with the women about the need to have access to reproductive health care. So I come from a long line.
Now, I don't know if that's the case or not, but even to bring up that story, whether it's true or not, tells you where her heart is now regarding that particular bill. Whatever happened to that particular bill? Well, if we were to go and look up the result of that bill, the bill did not pass. Roll call for vote for the 116th Congress, the second session. This was in February 25th, as you see the date, 2020 at 4:06 p.m. The bill did not survive. This is the Born Alive Abortion Survivor Protection Act. They needed more than what they got. They did get 56 yes votes, 41 nays. But let's just scroll down and look and see who actually voted against this. Kamala Harris, if you see the Democrat senator from California. What you can't do is continue to act as if you're ignorant to the facts.
So there you go. Fact check on abortion. What you think about that, Mr. Quentin?
That was pretty interesting. I didn't know a lot of those facts. I see two extremes though.
Mm-hmm.
I see people like he's saying who are having late term abortions like that, and on the other end, I mean it's all to me. I feel like most of everything is a political game. Whether our values are thought about or not, she's doing this. Maybe she believes in it. I don't know. Maybe she believes in it, or maybe she's just doing it for political to get women's vote.
Yeah.
But on the other end, one thing that I've heard is that America isn't producing enough babies. Well, not even just America, but most countries aren't producing. The birth rate is too low to repopulate society. So by 2100, we're going to be short a whole lot of people. So it's kind of, to me, it's like two extremes. You got people having late term abortions, politicians running on it. Then you have the other side where like, well, we don't really care about these babies, but we need bodies.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny you bring that up. There was an article about China, because remember one time China was busting at the seams
yeah.
to the point that they were, telling you could only have one child. I mean, they was controlling the birth rate. It was getting crazy because everybody was having babies in China. Well,
Mhm.
now what you just said is now in reverse. Couples are getting together, and you can look this up. Couples are getting together in China now, and they're not having babies. They're taking care of dogs. Dogs are their babies now.
Yeah.
And so they're not, and they was asking, they said, well, I'm just not ready to have a child. This is fine. And so they're having the same conversations there about the population, that at the rate they're going, their population is going to start hurting because young couples are getting together and are not having children.
Mm-hmm.
So again, America, don't fall for the okie doke, because abortion is really not what they're arguing about. It goes deeper than that. But the thing is, we take this topic again, just like Quentin was talking about earlier, about they had a bill that would have helped the border, but it gets shot down. Same here. Here's something to help late term abortions, and what happens? It gets shot down. Not only did it get shot down, guess who voted against it? The same person that's sitting up here talking about the woman's rights.
Right.
And if you notice, she never did answer the question when the lady said, what do you feel is a significant time for late term? And all she kept saying is that we want to reinstate Roe versus Wade. She never did answer the question about what would be a good time, or what do you feel should be the time limit for abortion. She never answered the question. She just kept saying that we're trying to get Roe versus Wade back in. And again, they fact check Trump, didn't fact check. And, and even taking this a step further, the moderators, because this was ABC News. I'm pretty sure if it was another network, CNN, Nation News, whatever, it would have been different. It would have been a whole different scenario probably. But I figured that a true debate would be like, they already know the questions they're going to ask. So why not have your team actually do the fact checking, so that when one of the candidates do kind of go rogue and ask the question in a kind of roundabout way, you can bring it back to say, well, last time you was asked this question, this is what you said. Keep them accountable.
Yeah.
Not that we're trying to embarrass them or whatever, but politics has gotten real shady. you don't know when somebody's lying or not now. And matter of fact, they can lie to you just like that. They'll lie in your face, a smiling grin, and never blink an eye. So why not hold them accountable? Ain't that what the news reporters supposed to do? They supposed to speak on the truth. They supposed to speak on the truth of information. They supposed to be neutral. They supposed to be able to bring you the facts. That's what news reporters used to live all back in the day. I'm bringing you the facts. You know, I'm uncovering falsehoods and things of that nature. Now it's just, you know, it ain't even there. But the other side to that was immigration. And so, of course, everybody knows Trump. I wish he had never mentioned it. He mentioned that crap about they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people of And so that has run amok now. You can't turn on any social media without catching somebody's mead about they're eating the dogs. I mean, people are actually taking their little puppy and wrapping it in a piece of bread and act like they're eating it. I mean, it's gotten crazy. But anyway, what actually got this started, and I think I still got it, these people was actually talking to city council. And I wanted to bring this part up because this is the other side. So Trump should have had this clip of these people talking to city council that he could have showed, or whatever the case might be, because what Trump was reporting on was what he had seen. But the issue that he was really trying to focus on was the immigration, the flooding of immigrants, because they're going to talk about some of the numbers of the Haitians. And again, this ain't hating on nobody. This ain't hate. But what we're saying is that these people have done stuff to infect some of these towns, and now they have to live with the repercussions, and they don't want to talk about that. And a lot of this is an issue with these small towns where they done flooded these immigrants, and they're not legal, and they're able to access resources that we can't get. And so it's a problem. But anyway, I'm gonna let y'all listen, and then we'll talk about it. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is Fox News. Hold on. Or do I want to show you? Hold on. Did I? All right. So let me show you this one first. So Roland Martin. Roland Martin, of course, he likes to debunk everything because he's a Democrat and blah, blah, blah. He loves Kamala, and he's the one that got all those black men together to raise millions of dollars to support Kamala because she's a black woman. Anyway, Roland Martin always does this. He wants to debunk and he wants to show the lies that Trump does. So watch this little small clip real quick.
Said multiple death threats, as have other city staffers and commission members. This is what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance has unleashed in this country. This is what they've unleashed. And they don't care. They literally don't care. They don't mind if people are calling in death threats. This brother right here, his name is Anthony Harris. Now, this is quite profane here, so just letting y'all know. This is the brother who went before the city commission, making all of these claims about Haitian migrants, and he was lying. Wasn't factual, he was lying. Listen to this.
They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them. And I ain't never seen no fucking cat and dog get ate in my life, and I never fucking said that. I said something about a goose, and somebody told me they see somebody grab a fucking goose up and cut his fucking head off, and that's what the fuck I said. But when you ask me, do I regret it? Hell yeah. And then we got to deal with motherfucking schools getting closed down. We got to deal with motherfucking all the government buildings getting closed down. We got to do interviews at the police station because weird shit is going on.
The white woman who also helped start this, she's like, oh my God, I didn't realize that all these things were going to happen, and I now fear for my safety. So you make up some bullshit about Haitian immigrants. Their lives have been threatened. They got to keep their kids home from school. They're scared to death of walking the streets.
So the video was what initiate all this about eating the pets. And now these people talking about, you know, they're recanting their statement. So who are we to believe? You know, this guy's talking about down there in front of the city council. And that was the other thing I want to bring up. So the other moderator, I can't think of his name, he runs ABC News. He said that they had talked to the mayor of Springfield, and the mayor said that he had no information on anybody's animals or whatever. But these people talked in front of the city council. So he had to know, or somebody had to tell him. He claimed he didn't know nothing about it. But anyway, Fox News did their thing on this. And this is what he should have talked about. He should have talked about the immigrant situation in general and not talk about dogs and pets and cats being eaten. So let's watch this real quick.
Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that Xi and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast.
All right, so you see at this week's debate, former President Donald Trump sounding the alarm on American citizens struggling under the weight of people flowing into our nation from other countries. One city in particular, Springfield, Ohio, is in the national spotlight right now over the massive spike of Haitian migrants, some 15,000 who have arrived under the Biden-Harris Temporary Protected Status Program, or TPS. That makes them, through the program, legally here. And again, I want to mention the number, small town, 15,000 have come into the city of just 60,000 in the past few years. Ohio Governor DeWine actually has announced in the last 24 hours that he is going to send $2.5 million along with a boost in law enforcement on the ground to help that community manage an untenable situation right now. He also explained how the migrant influx is hurting Springfield.
These dramatic surges impact every citizen in the community, every citizen. The moms who have to wait hours in a waiting room with a sick child, everyone who drives on the streets, and it affects children who go to school in more crowded classrooms. This is, you know, a very unprecedented situation in Springfield. We wish we had some help from the federal government.
Republican Governor DeWine there explaining why they need federal government help. It's a federal program that put them in this position. Now, the people who live there were at a city commission meeting this week, including one woman who lost her mother-in-law because of the situation. Let's watch this together.
On December 1st, I received a phone call that changed my life forever. She was collecting her trash can from her driveway when a car struck and killed her instantly. A Haitian immigrant was allegedly driving recklessly when he struck and killed her. I am paralyzed with anxiety when I'm getting my children out of the car in any parking lot, walking on any sidewalk, and driving on any road in this town.
This issue is not a Republican or Democratic issue. This is an American issue. This is an Ohio issue, and this is a Springfield issue. We, the people, have the ability to ensure our streets are safe.
Schools are overcrowded. Our education system has went in the trash. Housing is another issue. The overcrowding in housing. My son had to give me his house and move to another house because I can't find housing.
Is there a cutoff point that, I mean, for the population here? Or, I mean, I feel like there should be a no vacancy sign right now, and people are still coming in.
I want to make a point really clear here. This isn't exactly the same thing that other cities far from the border are seeing, where, you know, Democrats have accused Republicans for busing people in. This is through a Biden-Harris administration. Remember, he put her in charge of the border. A Biden-Harris administration special program for Haitians at this time. So they are looked upon now as being legally in our communities, particularly Springfield, Ohio. Now, that's important to note, because if one side starts pointing fingers at the other, Democrats to Republicans as they have, don't you dare let them get away with they were bused there, because they weren't. Many of them want to stay in that community. They have jobs. But the collision of population in Springfield and people who are not, in many cases, licensed to drive, and that was an issue in that woman's mother's case. Those are the things that are coming up, a lack of resources, that sort of thing. Republican Congresswoman Kat Cammack of Florida, member of the Energy and Agricultural Committees, is also on the select subcommittees on the committee on the weaponization of the federal government. Congresswoman Cammack, I want to first of all, because we've been talking about this issue of immigration for so long, set the table, if you will, for us of why this now is so important to so many Americans in different positions across the country.
Well, Harris, you've heard me say it so many times before. Every town and city, every state in the country is a border town because of the open border policies. But as you rightfully pointed out, this is a program that the Harris-Biden regime have stood up, implemented, and are now setting up across the country. And just to give you some perspective about why this is so critical, that we're pointing out that this is an authorized legal program under this administration, it's that they're not just putting them in schools and putting more pressure on all the healthcare systems and community services. There are cities, and this is so scary. They are not only giving them these services, they're now giving them jobs as law enforcement officers. That is why I had to drop a bill last week, the Citizen-Only Policing Act, because they are now allowing people under these programs to serve as gun-carrying sworn officers of the law. Keep in mind, these people are in the country illegally, and that is what is so crazy to me. And another fine point to put on this that everyone should be upset about is that collectively, we spend $42 billion of taxpayer money every single year on people in this country who have been brought in through the Harris-Biden regime or have crossed the border illegally. As a comparison, homeless veterans only get $3 billion.
Wow.
Let that sink in.
Making them law enforcement, I mean, they're not U.S. citizens. From what I'm understanding, some of them may be looked upon as legal in this country, but that doesn't make them citizens. All right, let's get to this. House Speaker Mike Johnson is now going forward, pushing hard to include a measure requiring proof of citizenship.
Yeah. Proof of citizenship. They always, show your ID when you vote. Your comments, Quentin?
I wonder, I was just looking at Biden's immigration policy. But I wonder, like anything else in politics, how much of this is manufactured, and how much of this is a manufactured issue to be able to use it as political fire.
Yeah, because not to cut you off, but the one point she was bringing up, talking about the program that they're under, they're able to apply for law enforcement jobs. Man, talk about gaslighting. I'm sorry. My head, I can't believe that, because there's no way you're going to tell me you're going to bring somebody in that's not a citizen, has no knowledge or expertise or anything in law enforcement here in America, but they're going to be able to apply to get a job as law enforcement. Maybe as a security guard, I can see that, but not as a sheriff's deputy, city policeman, highway patrolman. There's no way. They don't even qualify. So I can't buy into that. Again, we would have to do some digging. You got to show me some applications of people that put in for it and got hired as, refugees or whatever. But this is, like you said, this is what they do. they drum up this stuff and they manufacture a lot of stuff, and then they throw it out there, and then depending on what news outlet supports you, they'll push that agenda and make it sound like it's really worse than what it is. Because
Yeah.
you can hear it on Fox and they say, "Oh, it's crucial." Then go to CNN and it's a total opposite debate about it. So I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead, sir.
Well, what you said about the police. Now, that's something to think about, because you're talking about you have to get a few other people to agree to this. We're talking about police chief, we're talking about mayor, we're talking about governor. All three of these people ain't gonna be in alignment to say we're gonna hire this illegal person. There's gonna be some conflict somewhere.
Yeah.
The regular patrol officers, you're gonna hear about this. There's gonna be some protests. So I'm with you. Back to I was talking about his so I looked up Biden's immigration policy, which in 2023 he announced a humanitarian parole program to increase the admission of immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, while also announcing that his administration will crack down on those who fail to use the plan's legal pathway and strengthen the border. So I saw a video the other day talking about them eating pets. I saw a video the other day that said that they only had like 2 phone calls of somebody eating ducks. It wasn't this big thing they're trying to make it out to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if they just told the truth, if these things are actual issues and they just told the truth, then they'd be fine.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I mean, they'll take something really so insignificant and blow it up. And people are so quick to jump on the bandwagon, because people are frustrated. And I mean, it's rightly so. People are frustrated. People are tired. People are tired of hurting. People are tired of suffering. People are tired of it looking like they are always on the back burner and seem like everything else is taken care of before they are. And so it rightfully so. You could just throw something out there and they run with it. Like I said, they'll gaslight it, and people run with it, and you don't know what to believe. Like I said, she just thought, I just can't believe. Then you're gonna turn around and not only that, then you're gonna tell me the next day you're gonna put a bill on the floor to help prevent this that quick. As much stuff as we got going on, I don't hear you putting out no other bill on the floor to help anything else. But you the next day put this bill out on the floor to help prevent them hiring these Haitians from being able to apply for law enforcement positions. I don't know. The sad thing, our political structure here sucks.
Yeah.
And I think it's gotten to the point now that it's really showing its horns, and it needs to be revamped. It needs to be restructured. And 2 things is going to really put it in that direction. One, American people jump off the party van, jump off. If you're going to vote on your individual morals, your scruples, your information that you found out on your own, information that you know is as valid as it can be because you researched it, you looked it up for yourself. Vote for a person that is with your same thought process as far as what should be done in government, and not go with these parties any longer. That's the first thing. Jump off the party wagon and be an independent and vote for somebody that's truly trying to do something different. And then second of all, and I just lost my train of thought, but second of all, not only that, but we got to have more compassion.
Yeah.
We have to have more compassion for our fellow Americans. There's too many videos that come across, and I mean, a lot of stuff I do is the only reason why I even have any issues, any dealing with social media. Because for a while I didn't even deal with social media. But now that some of the stuff that I do, in order to even get information out, that's what everybody's on, social media. And so, but sometimes I see some stuff that just comes across. It's just so disturbing, horrible. It's just horrible. I see people going into a restaurant and just having a conniption over something so petty that they're turning over countertops, cash registers, throwing condiments. I mean, just downright acting stupid in public places. People fighting in the city square blocks, out in the city square, out in the park, just brawling for no apparent reason. I mean, maybe they thought whatever it is was justified. But I mean, when we see it, we're just seeing the after effects. And it's like, really? We were not made for that. We were made to love and help one another. That is not why we're on this earth, to be at odds at one another, to hate one another, to not want to help one another. That is not why we're here. And until we start changing our thought process about that, because again, nothing against the Haitians. Please, I hope nobody took that out of content. I'm sure somebody will. But that I didn't bring that up to have anything against the Haitians or whatever. I wanted people to see that really Trump had a legit issue, but because he went with something else, it took the focus off of that. You can't take that many people, 19,000, 15,000, 1,500, whatever, and just dump them in a small town. You can't, because because one, the infrastructure is not equipped to handle it, and you just overburden the whole system. And then, like they were saying, all of a sudden now housing is an issue. Everything becomes an issue. Schools are now crowded because you done flooded another 20,000 people into this town of 20,000. So you turn 1,000, 20,000 into 40,000, and the town is not equipped to handle it. That's why I say congressmen and senators need to get back to the workroom floor to see what's going on in their district and really get a actual true assessment of what's going on in their district and not just listen to a bunch of rhetoric. I mean, really, I don't know. Your thoughts, Mr. Quentin?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I do want to look at some of the history with these countries that Biden is I guess open immigration policy to. Haiti in particular. We talk about these countries here in America like they are they're backwards, they're not smart people, and that we're so much better. But in reality, especially with Haiti fought back against the French. Haiti was colonized by the French, and it fought back. And because it did, the French is charging them on everything they lost. They're still paying back to this day. So Haiti isn't poor because it's just some backwards country. It's been pillaged. Now, of course, we can't take every person from Haiti and bring them to America. But what do? Because, I mean, I'm not a politician, I'm not the president, but I feel like a lot of these issues America caused themselves. They got Mexicans coming across the border, or, they got South Americans, but we've messed up a bunch of these countries.
Yeah.
So what do? I mean, I feel like we do what's right and we help them rebuild it back so they don't want to leave. But I just don't like, we can't act like that these people are just trying to come over here because where they live, there's such a bad place and like they did this to themselves because they didn't do it to themselves.
Right.
They would have been just fine had we not messed with them.
You bring up a good point. And it's funny that you mentioned Haiti, because I've always said that, you know, America wants to run around and meddle in all these different countries. And the sad thing is, notice the countries that they interject themselves in, they have resources.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Iran and all of them, they have oil. There was a purpose for interjecting ourselves in them. Really, we should never have went to war with none of them. They were living their life fine. That's why we got the UN. The UN is supposed to be the world police. Let them go over there and fix whatever needs to be fixed. I don't know why we interjecting ourselves into these countries, but again, it's for resources. Haiti has no resources. Haiti has nothing to offer. But I agree with you 100%. I've always said that America should have partnered with Haiti, and we should have shared our knowledge, share our resources. We should have gone over there and allow companies to go over there to help build their infrastructure, build their economy. And because you can take a company, matter of fact, say a company, Denzel Corporation. Denzel Corporation deals with building infrastructure, neighborhoods, things of that nature. They can partner with them. They can go over there, take their foremans and stuff and engineers that know how to do everything, but hire the people that live there to do the work. Hire the people to live there. And so now you're stimulating the economy. These people are working, they're earning decent wages, and they're investing in their own country, help building it back up, helping build the country, building neighborhoods and stores and places to go and shopping centers and just whatever they need to make it a livable island. This is what they could have done. And not only that, you're helping the people over there. Like I said, you bring the people that have the planning, but you hire the people there to do the work. Now you're giving them jobs, job security, you're giving them some structure. It's just a win-win. And now we have Haiti. You put Haiti on the map, it's a viable country, it's pretty. People are living decent. Everybody's well, they have health care. Now you can make this place a destination point, you know, put some get with Sandals and all of them to put some resorts up there and ships stop there, and you know what I'm saying? Because right now I think Haiti is separate, because one side is a resort type and the other half is they're just living to survive. And these people, you know, they're working for nothing. They work on this side and then they got to come over this side to live. All that does is just make a nation angry, because it's like I come over here and serve all these rich folks, and then I got to come back over here to the poor side of town. All it does is make people. That's why they got rebels over there. That's why they do what they do. Yeah, we can do so much. Same with Africa.
Yeah.
Same with Africa. There's so much we can do for those countries, but we don't want to get involved because there's no resources. They done dried up all the diamonds over there, so they don't want to get involved. So thank God for humanitarian churches and stuff that do go over there and do what they can. Because if it wasn't for them, they would be really, really bad off in these countries. But they do what they can. Because kudos to Sean Penn. Sean Penn was one of the major drivers, man, of trying to get help over to Haiti. I forget the name of the organization that he had started or whatever, but he was really an advocate of trying to get help and aid over there when they had all that earthquakes and stuff that was going on. They needed help. They needed help. But where was America? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. We could have went over there. We have all the ships. We got all the supplies. We could have went over there and did a lot. But
We ain't gonna step on France's toes.
I could care less. France would have been just fine. France would have just been just fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know, brother. I mean, we're less than 100 days to one of probably the biggest elections ever.
Yeah.
They thought Biden, Trump and Hillary was something. They ain't seen nothing to this one. This is going to be one for the record books.
It's pretty close. I feel like it's the issues they raise. They have, each candidate has a lot of people that agree with them. So I don't know.
I'm with you, bro. I don't know either, but we shall see. But any other takes, sir, on the debate or anything else you want to chime in on real quick?
All right. I got one last thing that I want to say. This quote, and it's a quote. It's a quote. This ex-reporter Chris Hedges said this in one of his talks, and he quoted a writer, a philosopher he followed. I've been looking for the quote from the guy himself, but I can't find it. I just keep finding what Chris Hedges said. He said most people, the guy's name is Karl Popper. He said most people, Popper writes, attracted to power are at best mediocre or venal. Talking about politicians.
That's pretty deep. I like that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I don't know, brother. I mean, I hope people realize we got to go in a different direction. We really do. We got to go in a different direction. We got to have new thoughts, new ideas. And that means cleaning the house. That means getting rid of all them people that's been up there for years and years and years and get some new blood up there, some new ideas, some new faces, some new ideas going towards something that's going to help America in general and not just a select few.
Yeah.
Because that's how we got into this situation we are now. So we shall see. But America, I thank you for joining us today. And again, please like, share, leave a review. You can leave your comments as well. You can down there, you can leave a comment so we know what you're talking about, and we'll bring it up on the next, because I'm still not seeing no comments. So leave a comment if whether you agree, disagree, or maybe you have a whole nother way of looking at something. Let us know, because that's the only way we're going to learn and grow together as a society. Again, in the description will be our email. You can send us an email if you don't want to leave the thing in the description. So a private email comes to email, and we'll discuss it, and we'll go from there. So, but all right, Mr. Quentin, again, thank you, sir. This was a great session, and hopefully we've given some of something to America to chew on. Chew on it, see how it tastes, swash it around your mouth a little bit, swallow, you'll be all right. But until next time, America, this is James Parker along with my friend, Mr. Quentin Williams. And until the next time, we will see you later. Until then, God bless.